Hello, and welcome to my channel. Hey everybody, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always, I'm Andrew. Today I have got my very first monthly wrap-up for the month of March for you. We did launch the channel this month, and I am completely astounded to have already reached 100 subs. I cannot thank everybody enough. From everybody who pushed me to start the channel, Nico, Megan from Megan's Reading Revelations, Andy Smith let me pick his brain on a couple technological issues. I'm getting ready to upgrade my lighting to kind of improve the quality of everything. Megan was kind enough to send me the link to the lights that she uses, so I'm going to be upgrading the lights here soon. And it's been an absolute phenomenal month. I am absolutely having a blast here on BookTube. The community has been so welcoming. The channel has been a challenge to get started. You know, learning how to upload to YouTube has been kind of interesting. Learning how to shoot, record, and light videos has been a challenge in of itself. I'm definitely trying to get rid of the light ring in my eyes, in my glasses, so that kind of is no longer a part of my content. It's just been absolutely amazing. I've been typically doing the normal booktuber stuff. You know, I've been doing a lot of tags, a lot of recommendations to kind of get people to know my tastes. And then, you know, I do plan on doing more dedicated book reviews. I am working a little bit on my review, how I do reviews. I like to always go into the structure, but I sometimes leave things a little too vague. And I would like to be getting into a little bit more of, you know, character depth and just world building and all those things to kind of really sell books to you so that you're picking up a book and you know what you're getting into without having the story ruined for you. I'm always super scared to ruin a book for somebody, and that's just not something I want to do. So I am working on my review style so that I can give you better book reviews so that people who watch the channel pick up a book and they're confident, at least more confident than they would be picking up that book, so that they can get into it. Now, this is the March wrap-up, and as such, I believe I read 7 books. And it's been an interesting reading month, but before I get any further into that, go ahead and like and subscribe so that you get regular updates from when I drop new content. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, what 7 books did I read this month? Well, I read Assassin's Quest, which I absolutely loved. I also read The Last Argument of Kings, which I was super kind of lukewarm on. I did love the first 2 books in the First Law world, but Last Argument of Kings just felt a little bloated there on the end. I'm sure that pulls you through into the Age of Madness, which I will probably be picking up sometime next year after I've read the standalones. What else did I read? I read King's Dragon, which I absolutely loved. I'm actually, by the time you've seen this, I will have done the live debrief with Nico over on Nico's Book Reviews. It's kind of a series that we're trying to do. Nico, I think, is getting ready to read the 4th book in The Crown of Stars, and he's really been pushing it on the Discord, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. It was an amazing book. I've never read anything quite like it, so I'm super excited to discuss that with him, which will have already come out by the time you see this video. I read I listened to Sins of Empire, which is the first book in the of Gods and Powder. Sorry, it's a little bit of a complicated series name. Of Gods and Powder by Brian McClellan. I ended up listening to that because I DNF'd Peter F. Hamilton, The Reality Dysfunction. Now, it was a soft DNF. I intend to come back to this. I just started reading it and listening to it and realized for a 1,000-page starter book, this is PhD level sci-fi. Like, it is hard sci-fi. I think within like the first chapter, you go through the rise and fall from just from microorganisms to spacefaring, dwelling sentient beings who have ascended past like needing a physical body on a asteroid somewhere, and I wasn't smart enough or had the attention span for something that dense and heavy at that time. So this is getting a soft DNF. I'm probably going to push this to next year and then give it another shot. But Sins of Empire, I really liked. I should have the review coming up here soon. I do have a lot of tags coming out because as a new channel, I did push out a lot of tags just to try and kind of get people to know me a little better. Let's see, what else did I read? I'm currently almost done with Emperor of Thorns, the third book in the Broken Empire series by Mark Lawrence. I've got maybe 15% left on that. So by the time this comes out, I'll have definitely finished that. In fact, I plan to finish that within the next 24 to 48 hours. It's not a lot left. I'll have thoughts on that. I'm planning a series wrap-up for the Broken Empire. Sorry, my brain froze. But I'm planning a series wrap-up for Broken Empire to kind of give my thoughts on that. It may be a series wrap-up or a why you should read or should you read. I'm not entirely sure. The series definitely isn't for everyone, but I'll as I get closer to that, I'll do more details for that. I am currently reading Ship of Magic. I am almost done with this. I should be done by Monday or Tuesday before the end of the month, so I'm going to go ahead and include it as read for now. It has been awesome getting back into the Six Duchies, even though I read 2 Robin Hobb books this month, which are big, thick books. It can be a little rough reading very dense fantasy, but it's been a good reading month for me mostly. I did hit a little bit of a slump after Assassin's Quest just because it wasn't quite fantasy burnout, but it was almost like fantasy overload. And so I did need to take a couple days before jumping into another book. I also read A Time of Dread, which is the first book in Of Blood and Bone by John Gwynne, and that was a 4 out of 5 for me. Sorry, I didn't know where I was going with that, but it was a 4 out of 5. It was a great trip back to the Banished Lands. All my friends are gone, but I'm hoping to make new friends within the Banished Lands and really go on a romping good adventure with just fun battle scenes, really interesting characters, and just an overall good time. Let's see. So I think that's everything I read in the month of March or am finishing in the month of March. Let's see. What else do I have to tell y'all? Oh, I do, because I did hit 100 subs, I do have a Q&A video coming out within the next couple weeks. It will be out in April in the Discord, which if you haven't already joined the Discord, the link is in the description down below. Come in and join us. I have a channel in there where I post basically an Ask Me Anything. Silly, serious, BookTube, as long as it's nothing disgusting or completely off topic, you know. I'm more than happy to answer silly questions. So far we've got quite a good collection of questions, but I will be accepting some more throughout the end of the week. So we'll see what happens there. But I will have that video coming out just kind of so you can get to know me even more because, you know, what else do you want to know? I'll tell you anything. I'm an open book. I think that wraps up April. March, sorry. That wraps up March. Again, I just want to give a huge thank you to Megan and Nico for pushing me to start the channel. Another huge thank you to Nico, who is just my book brother, for deciding to share his Discord with me and rebrand it the Wizardly Duo Discord. We have so much fun there, and honestly, come and join us. It's a good time. We just are always talking about something. We even got a fantasy map section. I mean, we've got book haul areas. We've just got all sorts of fantasy. We're always adding new channels and just starting all sorts of new discussions. It is absolutely amazing. It is my happy place, and I would love for you to come join us. Now, that said, we're going to go ahead and do my April TBR as kind of a joint video. Starting off is going to be a DNF from, I believe, late last year. I'm willing to give it another shot. It wasn't for me at the time. But, you know, I hear it's either a you love it or you hate it type of book. that's going to be an e-copy version of Rage of Dragons, which I'll have a photo right here of the cover if you haven't seen it already. But that's going to be Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. So far as I know, it's an African-based fantasy, so it's not your typical European. And that's really all I know about it. I got maybe 12% into it before I DNF'd it. Something about the pacing or just wasn't sitting right with me. But I do want to give that another shot. Another one that I'm going to be doing is going to be continuing with the Of Gods and Powder trilogy by Brian McClellan, which is Wrath of Empire and Blood of Empire. And I'm going to be doing those both on audio, simply because I already have them on audio. I might pick up the ebook versions with the Whisper Sync, which, if you don't know what Whisper Sync is, basically if you have either the Kindle version or the audiobook version, for like anywhere from $3.99 to like $7.99, you can get the other version depending. And so it just makes having both kind of super cheap, since you own one version for a slight upcharge, you get the other. That's really what that is. I'm also going to be starting the Along the Razor's Edge by Rob J. Hayes. I'm super excited to do this because I've only read one Rob J. Hayes book, which was earlier this year before I started the channel, and that was Never Die, which was book 1 of the Mortal Instruments. And while I really enjoyed it, I enjoyed it all the way through, it did feel a bit formulaic, and there was a twist at the end that would have done M. Night Shyamalan proud. I believe gave it a 4 out of 5, even though I had some issues with it. And I really want to give more of his work a try. So I'll be starting that on audio as well. For physical books, I'm going to be starting with David Gemmell's Legend, which is book 1 of the Draenei Saga. This is the April choice for the Wizardly Duo Discord read-along. If you want to join along, I know I've already said it in this video, but the link to the Discord is down in the description below. This is a very accessible and easy-to-find book. I believe I got it at my used bookstore for $2.99, and they had probably 70% of the entire series in this exact same format. So if I really like this, I might go back and pick up the other ones. I will also be continuing my Of Blood and Bone trilogy by John Gwynne, continuing on with A Time of Blood, which is book 2. I'm super excited. A Time of Dread ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, which has just had me on the edge of my seat wanting to get back to the Banished Lands. I've also been reading a lot of dense fantasy, and as I've said before, the structure of these really pulls you through. It's not dense. It looks thicker than it is. I could probably read this in 3 days, and it's just a nice, I won't say it's a light read, but it's a very quick read, and it just makes you want more. John Gwynne is the master of one more chapter. I'm also going to be doing a buddy read for one of my most anticipated books of the year. And that is going to be Empire of Silence by Mr. Christopher Rocchio. I'm going to be buddy reading this with Walker Wright 7. I'm going to go ahead and link his channel in the description below. I'm super excited about this. I think it's closer into like the space epic or space opera, sci-fantasy kind of era of fantasy. It's not strict sci-fi as far as I know it. Other than that, I know it starts off with talking about destroying planets and everything of that nature, and that's just enough to get me excited. Plus, look at that artwork. Oh, his artwork's the best. They're just so beautiful. I'll also be continuing with A Crown of Stars with book 2, Prince of Dogs by Kate Elliott. After loving the first book so much, I've heard this one is even better. So we will also be doing another debrief on this one as well in the month of April. So keep a lookout for that. We will drop an announcement to keep you informed on when that is happening. And then we are going to be doing Mad Ship, which is book 2 of the Live Ship Traders. I'm also going to be reading this as a continuation for the read-along over on Megan's Reading Revelations. I'll go ahead and link her video up in the cards. We are in the second month, so if you need to catch up, I will warn you, these are very dense books, but well worth the time. And if you just want to talk about them while you read them, more than willing to discuss this series with you. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. And the last book I want to read this month is a big one. It is going to be Steve Erickson's Memories of Ice, the third book in Malazan. Is it Malazan or Malazan? I believe Erickson says Malazan. So it's going to be Malazan, Book of the Fallen. I believe this one goes back to the team from Gardens of the Moon, so I'm super excited to get back to the Bridge Burners and really see where this story goes. It is a big, big book, so I expect this to take me almost a week and a half, if not a little bit longer. But again, it is. I have a very heavy, very exciting reading month in the month of April. With that said, guys, I mean, that is the March wrap-up and the April TBR. Go ahead and comment in the description down below. What are you going to be reading in the month of April? Do you think I have bitten off more than I can chew? Have you read any of these books? Do you have any comments? Am I in for a good time? Please, let me know. And as always, guys, stay magical. Peace out. Bye.